think it was yesterday, but with Bitcoin and crypto in general, it's kind of seems like we've hit a critical mass in consumer adoption, meaning like unless something else happened, i.e., BlackRock's ETF, that is the only catalyst for demand that's going to help this out. Just because the narrative around Bitcoin when it comes to retail consumers, I mean, it's just not safe. And so they've seen pretty much all year only negativity. The days are long gone in which we hear guys making $2 million off of Bitcoin appreciation and then going to buy a tree house in Alaska to survive out of, because he wants to live that nomadic lifestyle. It was kind of a ton of those guys a few years ago. You don't hear about them anymore. And I frankly just don't even hear any good news out of I don't hear any good news out of the space. I hear interesting projects, because we follow the space and whatnot. But if I was a retail consumer, in my mind, I haven't heard anything good. And as a retail consumer, that's the role I'm in right now. I go off of what other people say. I barely do my own research, right? And so if I'm just Auntie Sally, but I like Bitcoin overall, I'm monitoring what other people are saying because I don't know how to do proper research. And so, yeah, I'm basically following the narrative and I'm just not going to buy any Bitcoin right now. So I think we've reached that critical mass for some reason. And literally the next catalyst would be that spot ETF. We saw the futures ETF, even with Ethereum, it just doesn't have demand. Bitcoin futures, it's not going to have as much demand as well. And so, yeah, I just think, based on the narrative, there is no other catalyst other than bringing institutional capital that would get the price moving back to the upside in a steep manner.
Yeah, I agree. It's like one of my favorite quotes from Warren Buffett is in the short term, the market's a voting machine. In the long term, it's a weighing machine. And what that
And what
means
that means
is
is
sometimes it
sometimes
takes
it
a
takes a
while for
while for
fundamental
fundamental
quality
quality
to
to
be shown in the price. So what JT is saying is that, and slash what he didn't say is there is a lot of building happening in crypto. You got ZKPs, like layer ones transitioning to layer two, like all these layer twos, like helping Ethereum scale so that when the next bull market comes around, fees are cheap. The UX is going to be better on a lot of different applications. Like it's a lot of building happening under the scenes, a lot of seeds being watered that just haven't sprouted above ground. However, there isn't anything making people to come to the farm to see the trees. And that's where, like, right now people are voting, but they're voting low. But there isn't anything happening to like bring people to the space to get people excited, because like if you think about it, like everything that's happened in crypto so far with Bitcoin, DeFi summer, NFTs, it was all narratives, things that got people excited, and there wasn't as many fundamental advancements as there are right now, but prices are extremely, extremely low. So that's what he means when he says like other than like the BlackRock ETF, there isn't, like, yeah, people are building things, but there isn't any, like, other than like Radix launching their layer one, which I've talked about a lot. There isn't really a lot of new innovative things happening just yet. You know what I mean? Like the last thing that we really saw that was like truly innovative that got people really excited in DeFi was like GMX. Hear Arthur Hayes talking about it, buying a lot of it, et
I
cetera,
love
et cetera. But
GMX.
yeah, we need a narrative.
I was just saying I loved GMX. I used GMX all the time back when it was blowing up. And I mean, like, I'll let you finish what you were saying before
No, that was
I
pretty much
jump
it.
off of that. Well, I'll say a few things. I'm gonna concur with the general consensus here that yet nobody is interested in crypto who are not already bought into crypto. And in order to change that, you need like massive institutional buy-in to signal to retail consumers that this is safe. And I don't think we really understand the magnitude of the loss that has occurred in the crypto space after FTX and after Luna and after all these just absolutely massive pandemonious collapses, especially FTX. You have an entire generation of retail consumers who lost money in crypto. Like, and not even a small amount, like a large amount of money in crypto
Life
due to just
savings a lot of
Yeah,
times.
even
life
with all the
savings.
NFT debacles as well, idiosyncratic. I
Yeah,
mean, it has been a ton of losses. You're right. Yeah.
it's been insane. And so you have an industry right now that is riddled with just huge losses and lawsuits and these issues. Like, and there's people who've been scammed. They're never going to go back to crypto. They're just done with it. And it reminds me a lot, honestly, of after it was Black Thursday in 1929. You have, for the first time in America and in the world, stocks, and you have, like, leveraged banking. You have people trading on commodities, and they're like, "Oh, this is new. This is crazy. I'm making money from this," and then they lose everything in 1929 when the banks collapse. And you'll have your grandma, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this, who still puts her money in physical objects like jewelry and gold and then hides it in places and doesn't trust banks. Maybe it's great grandma for us now. She never trusted banks ever again because she knew that they fucked her back in 1929 when she was young. They fucked her and they fucked her family. And there's a lot of people who have been thoroughly fucked by crypto who are never going to go back. So I think that, like, in order for us to fully comprehend how hard it's going to be to get back to the heights that we previously had, it's gonna take a lot, and it's gonna only be through institutions. It's gonna take a lot of institutional buy-in, and even then, I'm not expecting us to get back to our previous heights for maybe years from now.
JT, you and I were talking about this on one of our book reviews. After the Great Depression happened, three important things arose that, well, two of which are still relevant. The other one kind of got reverted. The Glass-Steagall Act, which separated commercial banks from investment banks. The Securities and Exchange Commission, because people got fucked so bad that, just like right now, people are calling for crypto regulation. There needs to be, like, there isn't going to be like a new SEC, but maybe like a branch within, because these laws don't apply to crypto in the same way, because although they're securities, they're just different. And then you had 401ks that were invented because people weren't getting back into the stock market. Like Isaac said, people were buying gold and tangible investments and hiding them and keeping them out of the system. So I don't know how they can, like, recreate that, some similar products like that will give people, like, safety and be like, all right, this is like if you look at it, these are things that that ensure that if something happens, you're covered. It's like the SEC makes it so that there's a safety net so that there isn't as many scams. And then 401ks make it so that, hey, if I'm making money from my job and I invest into a 401k, the company's going to match me. So it's more incentive for you to want to get into the market because it's almost like you're getting free money on top of that. With the current recession that we're in, and even the top companies beginning to, like, lay off people, I doubt that they're going to want to, like, start doing something like that. And, they don't really care about crypto as much. So we need an overhaul, like, big time, to get people not just feeling safe about entering into the market, but excited as well. And those are two different things. And again, just to piggyback on what Isaac said, the grandma who is not investing because she got screwed so long ago. Human beings have a tendency to remember a negative event more than a positive event. And the fear of losing something is stronger than the desire to gain something. It's like the brain is like, when something so tragic happens, it's going to remind you, any data that happened from that time point is going to be etched in your brain and remind you anything to do with that so that you don't have to go through anything like that. And that's grandma right there. Like, she's probably still telling stories to her nephews and to her grandkids to not buy certain things, who knows, because of how she got screwed before, even though you have those three things that came after. So yeah, we need a big overhaul.
Yeah, I think a lot has to do with it as well. Is just confusion. And so, like, right now it's probably, so it's like an interesting mix because right now is like where you're seeing like peak interest in markets from retail investors and regular folks. And, when things start to get crazy, of course, everyone and their mom starts to pay attention. I remember even when when FTX happened, that was like, I was talking to my parents and they actually brought FTX up. FTX.
Yeah, that's the one thing that happened where people don't know anything about crypto.
Bro.
They were asking me, Josh's parents asked me, like, hey, what's up with this whole TFX? That's what they called it.
And yeah, man, no, I think people are like when you're confused, we talked about the amygdala hijacking. And so it comes with the three options: fight, flee, or freeze. And I think people, when it comes to investing, if they're not in already, they just freeze, right? And so, I think if I don't pay attention, if I go off of what people say, which most people do, and I see this guy saying this, and then I turn around and I see this guy saying the opposite, and then I look left and this guy is saying like something right in the middle of all these guys. So I'm like, man, wait a minute. So what's gonna happen? So if I invest, people ask black and white questions like this, and you guys know what I'm talking about. If I invest, will I lose my money? While the normal answer is probably. Right now, the answer from most people will probably be, I don't know. You could make money, you could lose money, and that's at any time. But right now, that uncertainty is just exacerbated a bit, and it's just causing people to freeze. On top of people historically getting hurt in crypto, and if there's an uncertain time, I'm probably going to take that example of individuals being hurt in the past and put more weight on it, essentially, in my mind. And so, yeah, it's definitely a chance that I would get hurt. So, you know what? I'll just hold off on investing on anything. Now, if you're talking about like people who follow influencers, for example, because you got like a lot of stock and crypto guys out there that a lot of people follow, and they make their decisions based on what they're saying. If I'm watching those guys, they're probably telling me something like, it's a good time to buy if you're going to hold long term, blah, 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 blah. But once again, as a retail investor, I start to think, so if I buy right now, let's say if I buy 10,000, I only got 15,000. So if I buy $10,000 worth of crypto, I might need that in the next few months. And so you know what? I'll just hold on to it. I'll just hold on to it. And so I think a lot has to do, it's just people are confused as shit right now. Everybody's been calling for a recession for like 2 years straight, and we just haven't gotten it. People are still calling for a recession right now. And I think we are going to get a recession sometime next year. But I also believe that we've already had a rolling recession in various sectors, and things are starting to rebound. So you can make a case for that. And you can make a case for a recession coming down the line. And so, yeah, it's just a lot of confusion, man. I just try to think, if I only follow people, I'm fucked. I don't know what to do. And so I would rather just work my job and make money from my job, you know, if I'm a retailer.